Welcome, everybody, and welcome back to the 2020 Virtual Career Speakers Series. We are very lucky today. Today we have Mrs. Marlee Rabin here to talk about her journey of becoming an entrepreneur with her business, Ocurent. She is the founder and CEO of Ocurent. So welcome, Mrs. Rabin. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So we're going to go right into it. So we ask every professional the same three questions. And so what we're hoping to learn more about is, what does it mean to be in the fashion business, an entrepreneur? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So starting with the entrepreneur side, I think being able to be a leader is extremely important. I think you're working with people constantly, and if you have a vision of something you want to execute, you need a group, you need a team. You can't do things by yourself, and so you need to be respectful, you need to understand others, and you need to be able to work in a team and really kind of combine everyone's forces together to create something greater and execute that vision. Because without that team and without that respect and without that leadership, it's so hard to get things done. And I'd say that's one of the most important things in what I do. And then of course you need to be resilient. You need to be humble. You need to understand that you can't have an ego when you're building something from scratch and you're trying to make something grow. You really just need to be open-minded, and also just understand that we need to roll with the punches. We see that today with COVID-19, everyone's affected in some way or another, and businesses need to roll with that. You can't just kind of sit back and relax and wait for things to happen. You have to be able to, take what's coming your way and act fast and act smart and just take a series of calculated risks and decisions that will hopefully bring you to success.
Okay. In terms of being in your current position as CEO and founder, tell us a little bit about what does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
So I think it's different for everyone. For me, it involves waking up very early. So I wake up anywhere between 5 and 6. Like now with COVID, I'm waking up a little closer to 6, but 5 a.m., starting early, getting that exercise in right away, having that me time between 5 and 9 to just get ahead of my work. So whether that's just going through my inbox, thinking about new ways to grow my business, that's being organized and managing your time really well to get ahead is so important, because the rest of your day is chaos. So whatever you schedule and whatever you plan, it's going to change. Yeah. So, I have a ton of meetings scheduled usually all day long, and things shift and then things happen in business. So you need to just be able to roll with it. But in general, the type of work that I'm doing, it ranges so much because I'm the founder and it's a startup, right? So I'm doing everything from what you see on social media to looking at the numbers and strategizing for my business and understanding my budget and what financial decisions we're going to take. What are we going to spend on? What's our new advertising budget? Working with consultants to execute your advertising strategy, or maybe implementing new technology. You're really touching every level of the business, down from like the daily operations, meaning for me, that will be making sure appointments are smooth, making sure there's follow-up, making sure the sales go through, making sure the transactions work, making sure dry cleaning happens in a timely manner, the dresses get to the customers. So overseeing the workflow and then taking care of the financials, the marketing, and everything else.
So that's a lot of skills that you need to have to manage that amount of responsibility. How do you feel your education, and by education we mean academics, co-curriculars, life circumstances?
Yeah.
How do you feel your education has prepared you for this type of profession?
So I think I went through standard education, right? I went to WIC, West Island College. I went to Dawson in business, and then I went to McGill in business. And that was an incredible school and like foundation for me to learn. I think from all those places, I learned how to manage my time, how to organize my work well, and how to work with others. Like that was extremely important. And then all of the other work experiences that I've had have taught me different skills. So, being able to work for fashion companies and understand how they structure themselves, and understand how those teams manage their businesses, and then going to other companies and seeing alternative, and then having a wide network of people to be able to learn from and understand what they're doing. So I think a mixture of your foundation and your education is so important. It also gives you confidence to know that you came out of a good school and that you're educated and that you're set up for success. Like that really does give you that platform. And then every position you take from that point forward is a learning and growing opportunity. And I don't know if you're ever really like ready, to be honest. I mean, I started my business, I'm turning 30 this year. So I'm kind of at that pivotal age where I don't know everything, but I do have a really good foundation. And I know that I'm able to make quick decisions because of all the things I've seen in the past. I've seen how things go wrong and how to quickly turn. I've seen, I've been in companies that went bankrupt, and I've watched them come out of bankruptcy and see how you can kind of turn things around. So I think it's just being around businesses that inspire you, that you find are interesting, that you're just attracted to for whatever reason. For me also, it was very important to me to work in smaller companies. I did work for medium and large size companies too, but companies where I had access to the CEO and the business owners or the top tier executives. I learned the most from them because I like to watch them make decisions. I like to watch and see how they lead their teams and the way they work. And I think that was a huge part of my later education. And also keeping up with courses. Like I still tune into courses now. I don't think you're ever done learning. And anyone who thinks that they are, I think you're just missing out on a big opportunity.
And it sounds like it's an area where you're constantly evolving. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Evolving, learning new things, adapting.
We'll never stop learning. I think when I'm 60 years old, I'm still going to think that I have so much more to learn. And then it kind of is just part of the game. It's having enough confidence and the foundation to get you to where you need to go. And then spending some time really understanding and getting your feet wet, and then taking that risk and understanding you're going to make mistakes. I've made a ton of them. And Jeff Bezos from Amazon says that his company literally pays for his mistakes. And that's part of growth. And that's part of making better decisions, because we are going to fail along the way, but it's how you look at failure that really matters.
Can you tell us, before we get to the AMA section, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Ocurent, just so our students know a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so my company is a luxury fashion rental and resale service. So it really started off with the need for designer dresses at affordable pricing. So coming from the fashion industry, I have a certain taste for certain things, and I was not finding that in the market for prices that I can afford as a young professional. And when I was getting invited to a lot of weddings. I was at that age when I started the business where everyone was getting married, and then you're every week is another wedding, which is another dress, which is more hair and makeup and all that stuff. And so I saw this need for dresses that are accessible, that you can wear one time and give back, but still wear at a certain tier of quality. And I really couldn't find that. So I started that way. And now I'm introducing more everyday wear. So recognizing how important sustainability is, and the fact that there are some amazing pieces that are all over the city that people are not wearing, gathering that and creating one giant community closet of designer pieces that people can rent or buy and just really incorporate into their lives in a more sustainable way.
That sounds fantastic. What we'll do is I'll include the link, everyone, in your bio, if that's okay, to your website.
Yes.
And then if students want to check it out, they can check it out from there in context of the Career Speaker Series.
Absolutely.
So the last part of this interview is the AMA section, the Ask Me Anything section. So we got a question from Emma, class of 2020. Thank you, Emma. And so Emma would like to know, what steps did you have to take to get to where you are today?
I don't know if it's what you have to take, but I think just right off the bat that everyone's at LCC getting a good education, and that they're going to continue their education is a really good sign. I recommend keeping your doors open as much as possible. So for me, I always knew I loved fashion and I always wanted to be in fashion, but I made the conscious decision to work in business because I also love business. And I should have said not work in business, but go to continue my education in business. Because wherever you work, if you want to work in fashion later in your life, it's better to have that business background because you can learn fashion as opposed to educating yourself in fashion. So I would recommend that if that's something that's interesting, it would be to first focus on business or whatever's interesting to you as in your academia, and then focus in a little bit later in all the jobs, because if you can sell yourself at the end of the day, if you're passionate about something, you're trustworthy, you want to work hard, employers will see that and they'll look at you and say, you know what, she might not have all the skills today, but I can see that she wants to get there and I'm willing to take her on and train her because I think she's going to bring value. So at the end of the day, it's just educating yourself, being really open, and then not being afraid to take jobs along the way. And that's what I did. And I felt it really helped me get into some great doors. I did an internship in New York. And that was an amazing experience. I was 20 years old and I loved it. I learned how to like live on my own and work for others and understand their work environment. And I just kept taking fashion jobs from there, and it really shaped my career.
So it sounds like you're saying yes a lot. You're trying a lot of different things.
Yes, you have to.
Okay.
I think if you say no, you're closing yourself off, unless it's something it's wrong in your gut. I don't want to be doing this. So it's a job in engineering and you're not interested at all, but you think you should go in that route. Your gut will also tell you if you like something. So at the end of the day, we all know once you graduate school, whatever you're doing that every day. You're seeing the people that you're working with more than you see your family sometimes. And so if you don't really like what you're doing, then it's going to be very hard to be successful in that field, in my opinion. So say yes to opportunities, but go with your gut as well.
I think that's the perfect way to come to a conclusion. I think it's great advice. Mrs. Rabin, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your expertise. And if our students have any questions, I'll reach out to you so I can get them some answers if that's all right.
Sure.
And hopefully we can have you at LCC in person at some point in our next Career Speaker Series. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.